Welcome to Voice of the Inland Empire, your weekly adventure into the who, what, where, and why of our Southern California communities. In our little coffee house today, we are joined by Frank Pine, who is the managing editor of digital news for the Los Angeles newspaper group. And we're going to be talking about the revolution and evolution of the newspaper industry from something that was simply in print to something now that is print, digital, and so much more. It's really going to be a fascinating discussion about the future of newspaper. Now, be sure to visit our website at voiceoftheinlandempire.com, where you'll find a complete listing of all the times and days our show can be enjoyed and seen, as well as an archive of past shows and guests. We have a wonderful show lined up for you today, so don't go away. We will be right back.
Business owners, are you overwhelmed when it comes to tracking your finances? Most business owners don't realize there are 3 different right ways to enter the same transaction into QuickBooks. One right way will work well for a business and owner. A second right way will work poorly, while a third right way will work okay, but not well. I am Linda QBQ Russell, the QuickBook Queen, and I help you choose the best right way for your business. I do custom QuickBooks setup. Together we find the quickest, easiest way to enter data that provides you accurate financial reports. These reports guide you to grow your business more profitably. I just started my free online tutorials to help more startups and new QuickBooks users. Sign up now at qbqueen.com and quickbooksfreetutorial.com. Let's get started now.
We are joined by a gentleman that I have had the pleasure of knowing for many, many years, Frank Pine, who is the managing editor for digital news at the Los Angeles News Group. And Frank, your story is a compelling one. You are one of the rare old newspaper guys that made the transition into the digital era, where a lot of your compadres didn't, and a lot of newspapers didn't as well. Welcome to the show.
Thank you, Ron. I'm glad to be here this morning. Thanks for having me.
So I'd love to chat with you because you know the old days. I mean, what have you seen in the evolution of newspapers and news gathering? What was your very first newspaper job?
So I started the newspapers about almost 20 years ago at this point. At the Daily Bulletin, the Inland Valley Daily Bulletin, which is in Ontario.
No, I didn't realize you've been there that whole time.
Yes. And actually, when I was a kid, I threw the Progress Bulletin, right?
Which was the predecessor.
Right, one of the predecessor papers of the Daily Bulletin. So yeah, I started at the Daily Bulletin. I actually started on the copy desk, and one of my first responsibilities was writing obituaries. And I did that for a while. I did some page design, and then I was a reporter for a while. I covered crime in the Inland Valley. And of course, it doesn't seem like all that long ago to me, but you know, when you consider the way the technology has evolved, it was quite a long time ago. When we went out in the field back then, we took a roll of dimes.
To make phone calls at payphones?
So we could call the office from.
And you carried pagers, I'm guessing.
We had pagers and we had walkie-talkies.
Wow.
Right? Because we didn't have cell phones. Cell phones were not widely used at that time. And then, of course, in the time that I worked there, you know, the technology evolved, and now, of course, we have, you know, computers in our hip pockets, right? Mm-hmm. They're smartphones, and we're delivering news not just in print, but, you know, primarily on mobile devices and on the web these days.
So back then, the newspaper was it. I mean, it was, you know, I don't want to use the word monopoly, but it is where people went, period, for their not only local news, but regional and national news as well.
Yes, newspapers were the primary way. Well, television news existed and radio news as well, of course. But there was no news on the internet when I first started, right?
Back then, even cable news wasn't then what it is today.
Not what it is today. No.
You had your major news, your major television stations with their nightly news, but it certainly wasn't as divided and as accessible as cable news is today. So you guys were the major player.
Yeah, there wasn't as much of it as there was. CNN was around even back then when I started. But there wasn't, I don't think, the number of choices on cable that there are today. There's been a huge proliferation of news across all media. And I think it's one of the things that people don't realize. A lot of people seem concerned that there is less news today than there has ever been before. But there's not less news. There's more news. There are more people producing news because the barrier to entry is much lower today than it was in the past.
And in the past, newspapers covered, national, regional, local. And then as TV and cable news became more prevalent, some newspapers started focusing more and more on just local and less on the national because people could get that more quickly on television or more quickly on the internet.
Yeah, I think that's more a matter of audience taste than media being divided between broadcast and print. I think that the internet has made it possible for people to be more selective about the information that they get, right? And as technology continues to evolve, it gives people more and more tools to be able to do that. So back in the old days, a newspaper was kind of an all-purpose purveyor of information.
Right.
You had like the news section. You might have like a national news section and a local news section. Plus you had feature sections that had food, fashion, home, etc. Plus you'd have sports and you'd have entertainment all in one package because people had an expectation that they were going to get all of their information in one place.
Right.
But as more and more people took to the internet, you have a much easier access to, say, the Food Network online, right? Where anytime you want food content, it's there. You go get it. And that is the one thing they do, and they do it really, really, really well, which makes it much harder to be a generalist. So what you have seen as media has developed is kind of everyone focused down to what they do best, right? So my news organization, when I started, we had a much larger print product where we had a kids page, a food page, a fashion page, a homes page, an entertainment page, etc. Or sections really is what we had. And now our core focus is really local news because it's the thing that we do that nobody else does.
And that's a good point. You're not going to go to the CNN or Fox News website or to the TV channels and find out what's happening specifically here in the Inland Empire unless it's something really big and really bad. The only way you're going to find out what's going on locally is to go to either your print version or your online version of your papers.
Right. And we try to make sure that our news and information reaches the broadest audience possible, right? So right now our focus really is on digital. We digital and specifically on mobile. We have mobile apps. We have mobile versions of our websites, and then we have, of course, the desktop version of our website. And we're seeing a move away from desktop the same way we initially saw people move away from print onto digital desktop computers. Now they're primarily getting the news on mobile devices.
All right, well, and that's a good segue. We're going to take a quick break, but when we come back, I want to talk about the future of newspaper, which I think for a long time will still be in print, but more and more won't be. So don't go away. The best part of this conversation is yet to come.
Hi, I'm Jennifer Ewan, and I do the hair and makeup for Ron Stark and his guests. I would like to make you look and feel like a star all of the time. Come meet me at Studio M Salon and Spa in Upland, and if you mention this show, you can receive a free consultation and half off a haircut. I offer the best in makeup and formal styles for weddings, proms, and all of your special occasions, including special effects makeup, hairstyling, cutting, and color, hair and eyelash extensions, facials, and body treatments. So if you want to look and feel like a star, come see me at Studio M Salon and Spa in Upland. Give me a call today for your free consultation and half off a haircut at 626-589-3475 or 909-981-6800.
We are back, and you are watching or listening to Voice of the Inland Empire. We are joined today by Frank Pine, who is managing editor for digital news at the Los Angeles News Group. And Frank, in the first segment, we talked about the evolution of newspaper and how your career has remarkably followed that. But you've made the leap that a lot of your cohorts weren't really able to make. And you've been able to move from we only do print to we do print and so much more. And the newspaper has a certain demographic, but I'm guessing that the digital side of what you do is much broader.
It is. We know that our digital audience is very different than our print audience. Both audiences are very important to us. I don't want to give you the impression that print is a thing of the past, because it's not a thing of the past. We still make print newspapers every day, and they're very popular, and they're healthy. But we understand that digital is where the future is. Digital is where our audience is growing and continues to grow. And while initially it was digital desktop, it was desktop web viewers, now it's increasingly mobile. And so our strategies are focused on developing that mobile audience. And we know that that audience is younger, and also a little bit more spread out. They don't tend to be clustered in the same geographic areas of our footprint as our print audiences. And they have broader interests than our print audience typically does. We also know that they're very technologically savvy, right? So we have very detailed analytics of what readers are doing when they come to our sites, whether they're our core websites or whether they're our mobile sites or whether people are using our mobile apps or visiting us on social media. And that helps us make decisions about how we're going to deliver content on those platforms and or channels.
And you know, I agree with you. I don't see newspaper in the print format disappearing for a very long time. For the same reason I don't see printed books disappearing for a very long time. I have friends that only love to read books on their Nook or their tablets. But I also have friends that hate that, and they like the feel of a book or a newspaper in their hands.
And I think you're always going to have that. There's definitely an abiding interest in a physical product. People want something that they can hold in their hands. It might not always be 7 days a week, right? And it might be more of a niche or boutique product, but I think it's going to be something that people always want. Increasingly, we think of newspapers and identify them with the actual paper product, but they're really news media organizations. Right. That deliver news on a number of platforms. And that's how we think of ourselves, right? It's not just written words and still photographs rendered in print and dropped on doorsteps every day, although that continues to be a daily miracle, right? We also do quite a bit of video, and we're very interested in the interactive abilities that we can use on the web.
And your websites, at least the last time I looked at the numbers, are some of the most highly visited websites in the region. What are some of the things we find there? And what are those sites?
So we have dailybulletin.com, which is the website for the Inland Valley Daily Bulletin, sbsun.com, which is the website for the San Bernardino Sun, and redlandsdailyfacts.com, which of course is the Redlands Daily Facts website. We post everything that we do on the website, so all of our local news, all of our features and sports content, you can find on our websites. And we often enhance the news that we're providing on our websites with video. Obviously, you can't put video in the print edition. We include source documents. So if we're writing about a report, often when you go to our website with the story, you can find the actual report. So when readers want to know more, they can go to our website and get more. Additionally, we have evolved from being a news organization that produces a single news report every day to providing a continuous news report. So when something happens, we might start covering it early in the morning and write updates on that story throughout the day. And you find those updates not just on the core websites, but also we push those out on social media, whether it's Facebook or Twitter or your social media platform of choice. Our goal is to be wherever the audience is.
And that's something that I think really separates you from all the other regional and national news organizations. Not only is it local, but it's continuous. So if there's an event that takes place in the community and I want to follow it and know what's happening hour to hour, I can do that through you guys if it's a big event.
Right. Well, and our niche is certainly local. So if you're interested in news in San Bernardino County or the Inland Valley or Redlands, we're going to be your go-to source because we actually have the feet on the ground, the people who are out on the scene or attending the meetings and talking to the people. So, it's kind of a misnomer when people say they get their news from search engines. They're searching and finding our headlines and eventually tracking back to our stories.
And then through all of your websites, I can also download the mobile apps or through the online stores, the Android store.
It depends on what you're using. If you're an Apple user, you'd go to the
Apple
iTunes
store.
store, and you can download our mobile apps from the App Store or from the Google Play Store if you're an Android user. Yes. And we have branded apps to get our news content for each of our publications. And also, if you go to one of our sites on your smartphone, you'll find a mobile-friendly version of our website on your smartphone.
And is there a fee for any of that?
Well, we have an all-access package that gets you a subscription to the newspaper and access to our website. So yes, there is a fee for that, but you can get quite a bit of it for free.
Yeah, because I visit the websites regularly, and the bulk of the content you can acquire at no cost. And I love going to the website to see the local news and what's going on in the community, especially if there's a breaking story that I want to follow.
Right.
So those websites, one more time?
The dailybulletin.com or dailybulletin.com, sbsun.com, and redlandsdailyfacts.com.
Frank, thank you so much for joining us today and showing us the future of news organizations.
Ron, thank you very much for having me. It's been a pleasure.
We will be right back. Need a gift and don't know what to get? How about a one-of-a-kind custom gift basket? Looking for a corporate gift for your customers, associates, or employees? Are you a nonprofit or organization with a special event coming up? Bountiful Baskets has custom and stock gift baskets for every occasion and budget. Corporate gifts, wine and beer baskets, table centerpieces, balloon decorating, custom ribbon, and more with local delivery and nationwide shipping. Call 909-608-2131 or online at thebountifulbasket.net. Looking for a new mattress? Not sure where to go or how to start? Want to make sure you get the best mattress for your money and one that will give you years of sleeping pleasure? There's only one answer, and that is Dreamland Discount Mattress in Covina. At Dreamland, Bruce and his dedicated team will ensure that you find the right mattress at the right price that will give you years of sleeping comfort. Dreamland Discount Mattress offers a wide range of options, styles, and choices, all at up to 80% off. Want to hear what many of their customers are saying about them? Check them out on Yelp to learn why you should become a satisfied customer of Dreamland Discount Mattress too. Go by and visit them at 1007 North Azusa Avenue in Covina, or give them a call at 626-331-8044. And remember, at Dreamland Discount Mattress, prices are always up to 80% off. We are on location today at the Bountiful Basket with owner Marilyn Taylor. And Marilyn, I've known you for a long time, way back to the chamber days.
Yes.
And yeah, I got to tell you, whenever I think gift basket, I think basket. And I'm standing here in your showroom, I don't think I see a single basket in here. You guys do really some out-of-the-box kinds of things.
Yes, we do. Actually, they're out of the basket.
I like that. That's got to be your tagline.
I think so, too.
Like what? For those that can't see everything that I'm seeing.
Well, we do a welcome home gift for realtors in a little red wagon. I have a foot bath here that we get all kinds of pamper things for ladies. I've got a colander that we put pasta and sauces and all kinds of things.
It.
So we just, whatever anyone would like to, we think outside the basket for you.
So if someone comes to you and they want a gift for someone for something, they can give you kind of the particulars, and then you get really creative in how you put that together.
Exactly. We like to know if it's going to be for a man or a woman or a child, and what their price range is, and if you know something about them, because we don't want to put anything in the basket that they're not going to like. That's what we call custom.
You see, and that's what sets you guys apart from so many other places. They just have these kind of stock gift baskets, and you look around, find something that might kind of sort of work and buy it. Here, you ask about the individual it's going to, and then create something that's completely custom and unlike anything else just for them.
Exactly.
So if someone wants more information on how to get a hold of you to find out what kind of custom creations you can make for them, how do they do that?
Well, my website is www.thebountifulbasket.com. My phone number is 909-608-2131. And my email is bountifulsales@earthlink.net.
All right, so check out the website, thebountifulbasket.com. Don't go away. We'll be right back. There is always so much going on at one of my favorite places, the Citizens Business Bank Arena. On June 12th, Spirit West Coast 15. This family-friendly event features concerts by many of the top artists in the encouraging genre of Christian music, including Toby Mac, Newsboys, Matt Redman, and many more. On June 13th, Freestyle Explosion. Dance the night away to all of your old school R&B favorites from Stevie B, Taylor Dane, Seduction, and many more. On June 21st, July 23rd, and August 5th, Lingerie Football League is back. One of the fastest growing sports, the LFL returns to the arena with 3 epic battles. July 17th through 21st, Circus Extreme. Ringling Brothers and Barnum and Bailey present Circus Extreme. Get ready for an exhilarating adventure with extraordinary circus artists and magnificent exotic animals. Be astonished by unexpected circus spectacles that you've never seen before. July 25th, Kids World International Jiu-Jitsu Championships, a martial arts event for all ages. Watch the best of the best in each age group work to take home the championship. There's always something going on at the arena. Check their website at cbbankarena.com or call the box office at 909-244-5600. It is that time of the show when we get better educated. We all know the importance of a good night's sleep, and we are joined by Bruce Burnett, who is the owner of Dreamland Discount Mattress. And Bruce, I need to ask you a question about mattresses. You've been on the show now, and I'm thinking about it more and more. Not everybody manufactures. Some people resell others, and is there a way to really do good comparison shopping?
Well, I'll tell you, there's, and actually the reselling other people's things is a topic we'll approach in the future on the guys that rebuild beds. But I'll tell you, the biggest problem that I see in the mattress industry is you cannot find the same product in more than one store. So let's say you go to one of the big box stores. You go to JCPenney's or Sears or Macy's or wherever you go. They have a double the difference plus 10%. Mm-hmm. You find something cheaper. Right. So you find a bed, you like it, it's called the Ron Stark Special. And it's called the Ron Stark, the voice. It's called the voice, the Ron Stark voice. And you say, I love this bed. Now, you say, but if I go to Macy's, they're going to give me double the difference plus 10%. So you go over to Macy's, you go, I need the Ron Stark voice. And they go, oh, we don't have that. But we have something that's like that. You go and you lay it down, and it's the same $12.99 purchase price or whatever.
And it feels identical.
And it feels just like it. And you say, well, that's weird. You say, okay, well, let me go to Leeds Mattress, because Leeds can't be beaten. It's Neil with the deal and whatever their thing is. And you go there, and they don't have the voice mattress either. You say, okay, I'll go to Sit and Sleep, because they carry everybody's everything. And you go there, and they don't have it either, because they're, we'll beat anyone's price or it's free. And what you find is everybody private labels. So if you're a big company, they give you a line of beds, and you get to pick your own names. And nobody else gets that name.
So I may have, in that story you just told, laid on the exact identical bed at all of those places, but each time it had a different name.
Right. And the way they get out of that is it won't be identical. Like if I change the fabric, if this one has a bamboo fabric and this one has a cotton, technically it's a different bed. It has different specifications. But it makes it very, very difficult to shop.
So, all of these offers, if you find it for less, blah, blah, blah.
They never have to do it.
Because you'll never find that exact bed with that name anywhere else.
It should be, it really should be illegal. If I say I'll beat anyone's price on this bed, I should not be the only guy that has that bed. It's difficult.
Now, Bruce, if someone wants more information and wants to become better beducated, how do they get a hold of you?
They can call one of our sleep specialists at Dreamland Discount Mattress in Covina at 626-331-8044.
Bruce, thank you.
Thank you.
We will be right back.
If you can think it, we can ink it at Patterson Print Shop. From embroidery to printing too, signs, banners, t-shirts, that's what we do. Anything that you can imagine at Patterson Print Shop, we make it happen. If you can think it, we can ink it at Patterson Print Shop. Call us today at 951-924-2332 or visit pattersonprintshop.org.
Ron Stark the Voice is brought to you by KMET Radio, Smart Talk 1490, intelligent conversation and information for the Inland Empire. Your home for Andrea Tanteros, weekday mornings. Lakers and Clippers basketball, Kings hockey, Angels baseball, and of course, Ron Stark the Voice. Heard every Friday at 3 p.m. and Saturdays at 10 a.m. Your home for intelligent conversation and information for the Inland Empire, KMET. Also check out KMET1490am.com.
What a great show. I so enjoyed chatting with all of our guests and want to especially thank you for tuning in and joining us. Please remember to set your DVRs so you never miss another episode of Voice of the Inland Empire. And if you want to watch 24/7, then visit our website at voiceoftheinlandempire.com. And you can also see the times and places and days our show can be seen and heard. And when you're at our website, please drop us a line. We love to hear from you. Ideas, suggestions, ideas for show guests. Our guests need to have topics of broad general interest and be non-commercial in nature. And if you don't have access to the internet or just prefer the old-fashioned method, you can always give us a call on our Voice of the Inland Empire telephone hotline at 909-746-8846. So until next time, this is Ron Stark reminding you to be productive, care for your world, and give back whatever and whenever you can. Until next time, goodbye for now.